All right, welcome back everyone. And in this video, I'm just gonna show you what I ended up doing with my chair. I ended up creating an angled bar that goes up and then ended up rotating a little bit so that I could create a little a mounting bracket for the backrest. Now, this obviously you don't have to make a chair. You can make anything. I'm just using this as an example. You could make like a snowman. You could make a house. Whatever you think would be fun. But I just want to use this to show you some of the tricks. Okay. Now, one of the things that you can use is actually to create even more unique shapes is the cutting tool. And that is over here. These weird, strange shapes are actually for cutting. And you can actually turn any shape into a cutting tool. But these are the easiest ones to work with. So what we're going to do is we're going to press this button here, and it's going to create a new cutting box. And we're going to line it up over here on top of kind of roughly where we want to cut. I'm going to lift it up. And so let's say in this case, I want to get rid of all this extra, stuff that I'm not going to need as part of my chair. I'm going to remove. So I'm going to angle this a little bit, and it's going to be, I think, like that. Then what I do is I select these two pieces by holding Shift, and I also select this cutter. And then I press the group button up here. What it does is it groups them all, and you can see that it has actually cut out those pieces. And that is how you can create some really custom shapes. I'm just going to undo by pressing Control Z, or on a Mac it's Command Z, just so we can repeat that one more time. You can see that this is just a square or a cube, and these are just rectangles. What I'm doing is when I combine them, I end up creating this really cool custom shape that I didn't have before. Now, the other thing, let's do it again. Let's try the other tool. So we use the cylinder. I'm going to put it right here, dead center, and I'm going to lift it up like that. And then you can kind of guess what I'm going to do here. Oh, you can also use the arrow keys to get more precise with your positioning. So I'm just using the arrow keys to tap it over to the right location. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to lift it up a little bit more, just like this, and move it over one tap. And then I'm going to move it over one way this way, and then I'm going to select these two, and I'm going to merge them together. And now I have created this really nice looking backrest groove, almost like it's a groove that's been cut out for people to lay their back on. And if you don't like it, you can undo. Maybe I'm gonna be a bit more subtle with my groove, so I'm gonna just have a little groove. So move it back, then press group again, and there we have it. There we have that little groove that's been cut into the chair. And you could do that with any of your shapes. So now that actually creates a really cool looking chair. And you can do that to create all sorts of different custom shapes that you wouldn't normally be able to get. And one last thing, for example, I could turn this sphere into a cutter. So if I take the sphere, I go here, I move it into position, I lift it up, and then I press this button to turn it into a cutter. And then I lift it up a little bit more. Then I hold Shift, and then I group these together. And there, look, I've created a groove in the seat of the chair as well. So that is basically that's how you use the cutting tools. You can even cut entirely through something. So if I wanted to, I could take this, I could cut a hole in this. So I could take this, maybe I'm going to rotate this 90 degrees, lift it up, shrink it down, hold Shift to shrink in a uniform way, move it over, lift it up, and then I just have to make sure it's long enough. I can hold Shift, and I can group these, and look, now I've cut a hole into it. That's a unique design for a chair. So that's that, and there's one more video to watch. So after you're finished with this and trying things out, check out the next video.